What's up? What's up? I pray you guys are doing well today. Thank you guys for rocking with your boy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Full face, full face. Hold up, give you my full face. Yes, welcome back. We back up in here. We back up here quickly with Tracee Ellis Ross. I don't know. Middle-aged woman, beautiful lady. But I'm not sure what the issue is, but we about to find out. It may be the mindset. I don't know. We're just here for entertainment purposes only. We're just listening and maybe commenting. And that's it. That's it. That's it. So you guys, let's take a look and see what I have here. What we have here. So Tracee Ellis Ross complains about dating at 52 and calls men toxic. She was on the Michelle Obama show. Oh, we toxic. Fellas, are we toxic? Are we toxic? I don't think we are, but let's see why she thinks that.
And, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, but a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity. I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I'm back again with another video. So this video has been extremely highly requested. I mean, if y'all could have sent a bird to come knock on my window and alert me that I needed to record this video, I would have done it, okay? Because I mean, across Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere you guys could have connected with me, you guys have wanted to know my opinion on this conversation that actress Tracee Ellis Ross, who is of course the daughter of iconic Diana Ross, she sat down with Michelle Obama on her podcast, and they had a conversation about various things, but most importantly was the conversation that they had about relationships. So I'm going to go ahead and press play as usual, pause, play, give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this entire situation.
And, as much as
All right, before we get started with her, you guys go check out Riva TV. She does really good content as well too. What do you guys think about Michelle Obama having a podcast? This day and age, ex-president's wife, first lady. Things it's so funny how things are so different these days. I think that's really strange, but it just tells you it's just the sign of the time. So if you guys are out there and you want to do something different, these young folks, I mean, this new technology and how the world is going today, I say take advantage of it. For us older folks, digital content creating things like that, it's a way to make money without breaking your back. You know what I'm saying? More cerebral, more connecting, more relationship building type stuff. But I'm not gonna talk much through this because I know you guys kind of some people like it, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? But this is a reaction channel, and it does need commentary. So I'm gonna put her River this video link in the description so you can have the whole video without me talking whatsoever. And we're gonna jump right into this thing, guys.
as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner.
That's a great point for people to hear.
I'm not interested in that. You have to make my life better. It can't just be, I'm in a relationship to be in a relationship.
So this is the first point that she made. There was a snippet, a section of the entire conversation that went viral, which is what we're going to be talking about. And in this portion, she's saying, like, yes, she is single, but also she would not want to just be in a relationship to just be in one. Obviously she would want to be in a relationship which is meaningful, that is going to assist her, not just having a relationship just to say that she has one. And with this portion of the conversation, I do agree with that, right? Because so often we talk about how women are the ones who are filing for divorce and how women are the ones who are tearing up their households. But one of the main things is that people aren't vetting properly. So her talking about, not just wanting to jump in something to jump into it and wanting to be in a relationship because it's actually going to be a good relationship, I agree.
Even though the grief does emerge and that comes and I hold that, I think of what I've done. And I woke up every morning trying to do my best. I didn't wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to mess this day up.
That's right.
So I must be where I'm supposed to be.
So in this portion of the conversation, she's talking about her grieving the idea of her being married, right? So she talked about the fact that, when she was younger, she always envisioned that she would have a marriage, her wedding, her husband. And so she says that being 52 years old, the age that she is now, you know, looking around and seeing her life and her lifestyle and stuff like that, you know, she does have moments of ebbs and flows where she's not happy about it, right? She has sadness, she has, like, you know, like she said, grief or you know, sad emotions of what could have been or what is not. And I think that this is a truth of a reality that a lot of the women do not want to talk about. While all these boss chicks are telling you, you know, you don't need to be with nobody, you know, better to have no man to be with the wrong man, you know, while they are always saying all these things, they never talk about this part of the conversation, that they are actually sad sometimes, right? That they're not the happiest walking around, although they, you know, I'm the rich auntie and I'm so happy. They actually do have sadness around that situation.
And
What do you guys think? I mean, that was a good point that she made. I think you should definitely vet properly. Tracee, she's just in a world that, man, that I hate to say it, that sometimes not so good people are in that world. She may have to. I mean, actually, I can't give advice about it. I'm just listening, and I do understand wanting to be with somebody. You know what I'm saying? We were made for relationships and made for companionship. And usually the man is the one that goes out and hunts and finds his beautiful wife. And you know, if all goes well, she accepts his proposal, and so goes on with life. I'm sure she's getting pitched left and right because she's a beautiful lady. Um, you know, pray that she finds what she's looking for. You know.
I don't know. Sometimes I think of all of the things I've done, the courage that I've had to have, and what I've had to learn how to navigate as a single person with no one to hide behind.
Yeah.
And it's built a really beautiful experience
Yes.
around me. And I have incredible friends.
Now, this is the part of the conversation where things started to take a turn. Okay? I'm just going to be really honest with you. And how you guys know that when I have my conversations here, I am not being biased is because I love Tracee Ellis Ross. Okay, I think she is stunning. I think her figure, especially at her age, gives some of these young girls a run for their money. You know, she is a fashion icon, you know, especially with her natural hair styles and just exuding natural beauty, not the pounds and loads of makeup, not the pounds and loads of extensions and weaves. Like, she is somebody that we look at as a classic beauty within our community, right? Like, Blackish was my show, okay? And
Right.
during
That was a
lockdown,
good
I
show.
binged the whole Girlfriends TV show. So, like, you know, I definitely, you know, this is not a personal, you know, me coming at her, because I really don't have any problem with her. I really like her. But when you start to say things like, you know, I'm single and I look at how I've had to navigate this, you know, by myself with nobody to hide behind.
And what I've had to learn how to navigate as a single person with no one to hide behind.
That's when I think that some things start to come into play where, you know, maybe that bitterness starts to peek its ugly head out. Or maybe, again, you being by your lonesome and the coping that you have been doing is now trying to kind of down the women who are in relationships. I think that, just in my personal opinion, being in a relationship with somebody is what takes the most courage. Okay. And the reason why is because when you are in a loving relationship, when the two of you love one another, you are down for one another, you're there for each other, you support one another, you are tried and true with this person, it is going to force you to look at the innermost parts of yourself that you can hide away, you know, when you are by yourself, that you can hide away because your friends love you and they're going to overlook some things. When you have somebody who's going to stop you right where you are and say, you tripping. Okay, I'm not gonna take that. That's your childhood trauma. You know, that's the pains, the grown pains that we got to go through to get you to the best version of yourself. I think that takes courage.
I want a partner. And so often, and it's not just that I'm older, I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference.
So in this part of the conversation, you know, it was a segue where Michelle Obama was talking to Tracee and basically, you know, made mention of the fact that Tracee Ellis Ross, you know, constantly dates men who are a couple years her junior. And so she was saying that she's a whole robust person. She knows who she is. She knows what she has going on in life. You know, she knows all the stuff that she brings to the table. And so, you know, when she's navigating dating, especially dating younger men, she also has to bring into account that because she has more life experiences, obviously because of the, larger age gaps, that sometimes that obviously creates some kind of difficulty, which is not a surprise to anyone. Okay? Nobody is surprised by that.
To ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous?
So if you know all this and it keeps coming up, why do you keep doing it? I'm sorry. We just listen.
There's that.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I have all respect for Michelle Obama as well. I have respect for her, regardless of whatever the case, especially some of her conversations in regards to marriage and how, it's not always going to be the easiest thing in the world or whatever the case is. And, sometimes it's not going to be, 50% of each other. Sometimes, as a woman, you are, it's a balancing act. And sometimes you have to put more into it.
I mean, I'm gonna stop it right there because River's right. But what makes Michelle Obama the expert on marriage? I mean, here lately, all right, so we're gonna go there. But you know, I mean, support your man regardless of anything, regardless of how you feel, and I'm sure that you're being supported the same way, regardless of how he feels. So so. I'm trying so hard to watch what I say. So let's continue to hear this young lady speak.
Or whatever the case.
Look over my marriage, if I were to judge it in year 5 or year 10, there was never 50-50. Somebody was always giving way more. Someone always needed a different kind of thing. And so, yeah, there were times when I felt like I was 70% in and he was doing 30% required. And I feel bad when I see young people giving up on their relationships because there are periods of hard.
Some parts of these conversations, I just felt like she was living vicariously through her single friend. Okay. And I'm going to be honest, I did not watch the full interview, so I could be wrong. But from the clips that I've seen that I'm reacting to, it seemed very much so that I would have thought that somebody married for as long as she has been, like a Michelle Obama, would be having a conversation with Tracee, kind of like educating her of the positives of relationships, kind of like giving her take on relationships and the name of the game being that she has been able to sustain. Again, I don't know if she did or not, but a lot of it was like, oh yeah, there's that and they're hot. And, I just kind of thought that was a little odd to me.
To ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks.
What I found interesting is that, she talked about the fact that she's older and she dates younger men because the men her age are, deeply rooted into toxic masculinity. The patriarchy, man over woman. The man is the leader of the household. What he says goes. He has the final say. All those kinds of things is basically what she's talking about, that she doesn't agree with, that she's not with, right? But what I find interesting is that when older men have this same exact conversation about the reason why they don't want to be with older women is because, again, they are stuck in their ways. They are not,
She cooking. She cooking now. She's definitely cooking now. Because for me, I feel like that it's weird. It's weird. I can only speak for myself. It's weird. So I would date somebody my age. It would be worse, way worse to be dating somebody younger or even somebody older, which is the oddest thing. I could go 3 or 4 years older and I can go up to 10 years back and I'm fine. But right around my age is where I would come into an issue with like mindset and all kind of shit. So it's crazy.
they're not movable, they're not willing to compromise, they're not willing to budge on their principles, their ideas, or their standards, whatever the case. Men get flack for it.
Right.
But here we have this woman saying this, and women in the comment section are like, oh, yes, sis, I feel you, and yes, they are, and I don't blame you. So why is there a double standard in that regard? Why is it that a woman can say she dates men, many years her junior, because men are stuck in this toxic cycle of, again, their ideologies, but when a woman is in a relationship with an older man, and a man says, yeah, that's why I get in a relationship with a younger woman. It's because, they're not stuck in their ways and they're not miserable, and they're easier to compromise. Women start saying like, oh, these men are manipulating these women. Oh, this is
No,
terrible. Oh, that's called grooming. Like, I don't understand that.
I agree. I agree with what she just said. It's not. It can be a grooming if you go out and you 50 something years old and you hit an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old, catch them early. You know what I'm saying? And their mindset is not there, and they're easily to be manipulated. But some of us date younger because of they haven't been tainted, if that makes sense. So it's like the more you live, the more you grow, the more you know, or the more you think you know, and you have to go through all that stuff to get to the root of the person, who they really are, and then you go from there. But a lot of older, not it's just my experience, nobody's experience, but I actually had to go through this. Um, it's more set mindsets. That's it. This is what I like. This is what I'm doing. And this is who I am. And if you can't come here and appease who I am right at this moment, I don't know what to tell you. That's basically the mindset I went into. Yeah. That's not necessarily bad or good. You know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily, shall I say, that's not necessarily bad. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just giving my opinion, my experience. That's it.
And anything that starts to smell of that for me,
Yeah.
I did enough of it where
Yeah.
I was controlled and felt like I was a possession, or whatever those things were, or prize, and I have no interest in it.
Now, I have a really strong take, okay? And again, this is absolutely no shade to Tracee Ellis Ross at all. I love you and your mama, okay?
For sure,
I
for
do.
sure.
But I strongly feel, and this is just my opinion based off of this conversations, other conversations that I've seen with a lot of these other women who are in these spaces, that the women who have not had a face-to-face beautiful connection with a man, right? Where they have the chemistry, the love for one another, the passion within the relationship, where they are just so deeply connected and they've had positive results from that situation, could never fathom or understand the leadership roles or the roles within a household. I strongly and deeply feel that is completely related. The same way that I feel like the strongest feminists are women who have never had positive relationships with a man. I believe that. And the reason why I say that is because there is such a mind shift when everything around you in society is saying that men are bad, men are this, men are that, men keep the women down, men are toxic, oh, the patriarchy, this, and all these things. When there's all those kinds of conversations floating and you've never had a positive situation or relationship, it's easy to just kind of go with that ebb and flow of that situation or of that ideology and believe that to be fact. But when you are in a active relationship with somebody, or even if you were in a good one and you ruined it, or whatever the case is, you understand the other side of the coin. You understand, you know what? I do understand why women put their man first. I do understand, the need for the balance of roles. I do understand the gender roles and why that's important. I get that. And the reason why is because y'all be so in love, giddy, and everything, y'all be willing. Okay? All of a sudden, the question, why do I need to fix him a sandwich, becomes turkey, ham, or BLT. Okay? At 3 a.m. All of a sudden, the conversation changes. When women get those real experiences with the real man, all of a sudden, the whole conversation about I'm not doing that, I would never, completely changes.
No, I was going to say, it's a generational thing. So it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just
I'm
kind
not
of the
saying
guys you're meeting?
That's obviously,
Too big of a
it's a
generalization.
generalization, but because I have dated men my age, there is a difference.
And I think that's just sense, right? Obviously, there's going to be a difference between a man dating an older woman and a younger woman. There's obviously going to be a difference with a woman dating an older man and a younger man. Like, obviously, their upbringings, the way that they see the world, everything is going to be vastly different. And unfortunately, what a lot of these women don't understand is that they are so far in their masculine without even realizing it, that they then turn on the brain of a man and then are operating as a man does. Hence going younger, right? Hence trying to find somebody that's hip and is moving with the flow of things and the time and the times and all these things. Again, because they have the mindset of the man and they're in the man position based off of status, based off of being alone for however long, and based off of being the quote unquote boss chick.
There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with I mean, something as basic as
Right,
that there's times where I'll be, sitting across the table from somebody and just like, what did you just say?
Now, this was very interesting. She talked about the toxic masculinity. Now she was saying that she's gone on dates with men who have a problem with gender fluidity and, all of these kind of more newer age things that she feels that younger men obviously are more understanding of.
She chose these guys. Every last one that she went on a date with, she chose. Anyone that she's ever been in a relationship with, she chose. You have to choose wisely, and you also to a certain extent, if you can help it, be what you want to attract. People say, oh, opposites attract opposites. Opposites attract, opposites attract. They don't. I don't believe that. Like attracts like. What you see, what you speak, how you speak out your mouth, that's really who you are. And you tend to attract the things you speak. If you spew negativity, you'll get more negativity. If I tell you what it's about, tells you watch how you speak. Watch what comes out your mouth. Watch your words. So it's anything. It's just like with your aura and who you present yourself to be. You'll continue to get that. So my opinion, just my opinion, is that the things that Tracee and the people that Tracee is attracting is who she truly is. And I can go to detailed bullet point of what these things identify as, but I'm not. It's just my opinion. That's it. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Play.
Because it's more within their, I guess, generation.
Century are you?
Like, oh my God.
Where's your horse and buggy?
Yeah, like, I'm so sorry.
And your bedpan.
Yeah, for real.
Chamber pot.
Yeah, your chamber pot. Your chamber pot. Like, where I'm just like, yeah, this is not a match.
Yeah,
and I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up. That I'm not interested in.
Now, this is another part of the conversation that I didn't agree with, strongly disagreed with. And the reason why is because people can have their preferences. Right? And saying that you're going to grow somebody up because they don't agree with certain lifestyles or certain lifestyle choices, I just don't agree that that has anything to do with immaturity. I think that the same thing can be said for men saying, oh, you're dating younger men. Maybe it's because you're immature yourself and that's the only person that you can meet on a certain level. I don't agree with somebody strongly having, there's men who are rooted in their faith who don't agree with certain things. There's, or they just have certain ideologies. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can find somebody who's aligned with the things that you're aligned with, but to make it seem like anybody else who has a different mindset contrary to what you feel or you believe is immature, I don't agree with that at all. I think that was definitely, that didn't make no sense. That you're going to grow somebody up by forcing your belief system on them. I just can't get with that.
And I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up. That I'm not interested in.
And I think that sometimes when you allow these conversations to happen, the more that you hear a lot of these women talk who are in these age brackets and have trouble finding relationships and have trouble matching with somebody or meeting or being in a relationship with someone, the more that you listen to these conversations, the more that you are able to possibly hear some of the reasons why they have a hard time in relationships. And it's because of the hierarchy within their mind, right? Like, I'm over you. I'm a full person. I have my friends. I'm not going to grow nobody up. Like, it's almost as if you have this air about you that you are, above everybody, above reproach, above everything. And so anybody who's coming to you is beneath you. And that kind of attitude when navigating dating is always going to get the woman the worst results.
I want a partner. And so often, and it's not just that I'm older, I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So
by her being single for so long, just my opinion, she's built that mentality. And this mentality is more of a nobody's gonna come in and hurt me type. I don't need nothing from nobody because I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? So, and as long as you're doing that, it's gonna be others that come in, and they just want to try to get around those little punches that you throw. And then once you get around those punches, at least a couple of punches, they'll come in, hit, get what you need to get up the situation, and then get up out of there because your attitude's not gonna change. He's just dealing with you for the moment. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to embody what you want. And the thing with these celebs, man, can you imagine having a lifestyle where everything you ever wanted, everything that you ever could desire or dream of, it was there and it was normal for you every single day. And being a daughter of Diana Ross, that prestigious name in entertainment, that's a part of it too. It just is. You will have to go in and back in the day, different types of cultures, they assign your mate. She would have to have a mate assigned to her of the same prestige and honor, that she's looking for. But right now, to me, she's kind of fighting. She wants a certain thing, but she's fighting it as well too. If that makes sense. Just about my perception.
It's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference.
Because, true men who are going to be there for you and stand in the gap for you are not going to take it.
Yeah.
Right? And so most of the time, these women are then left with men who are yes men. Right? Who are going to bow down to what you say goes, who are so not into the gender roles that you're the one, since you're in the masculine, he has no problem being in his feminine. But then you have a problem with those kind of men.
Right.
Right? So in
you run over them.
Personal opinion, I feel like this shows that a lot of these women are never satisfied. They can't be. Right? Because it's always tit for tat. And let's just be honest. According to statistics, there are more women in the world than there is men. Right? So obviously there's going to be some women who are going to be alone by themselves. There's going to be some women that's going to have to share a man. And there's going to be some women who are blessed to be able to get into the mindset and be able to actually foster growth in relationships. So that's just the reality. Right? You get to pick and choose whatever you want that to be for yourself, right? But that is the truth. And so I don't think that there's anything, necessarily wrong. There's some women who just definitely don't want to be with nobody. I think that that's better than women being with a man and making his life miserable every day by trying to prove to him how much they don't want to be with him. Right. I think it's better that they stay by themselves, right? Instead of making, you miserable by trying, you're trying to jump through all these hoops and you can never please them. Because again, just in my personal opinion, I feel like a lot of these women have proven that no matter what you do, they'll never be pleased.
What do you guys think? Think she'll find somebody? I think she will. You have to hold out hope for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, if you're looking for something wonderful, you'll find it. But you can't hold yourself back. You have to let yourself find it. You know what I'm saying? And not giving reasons and excuses, prejudging before you get into the situation, or like sitting there with a magnifying glass and everything that this guy does. Yeah, you're micromanaging it, and you're not letting the person be who they are, or choosing somebody that you can learn from as well too. So it's because you're where you are in life doesn't mean you know everything. Evidently you don't, because you haven't figured out the way to be married and have children. But there's no dig on her at all. I think she's a great woman, very big supporter, and that's the reason I need the video. See what's going on with my girl, my blackish girl, for sure. And that's not her Ross's daughter, so of course. But just real quick, guys, let's just look at the comments. We're gonna get up out of here. This woman had every advantage in the world, and it's still our fault. That's from a man's perspective. Drew said that. And said another guy, it's funny that every single woman portraying boss babe energy are always single. Interesting. Tracee became her character Joan from Girlfriends. I didn't think about that because she is an actress. So a lot of times, if you allow yourself to be engulfed with certain things. That could be life experiences. I mean, it could be life experiences, or it could be some things that you just innate are, you know. And but her being her character, a lot of times you learn how to grow up through like actresses. The actresses, I'm sure they grow up acting like those characters for real in real life, you know. What else we got here? She was just making excuses for being outside at her age. Yeah, ruthless. When I hear women talk toxic masculinity, that means she wants to be in control. She's a notch, pure and simple. He said notch. And what I'm getting is that he said she's a notch in a belt, pure and simple. Okie dokie. She's single at 52 just because she made a choice to focus on her career and didn't realize that her age options would thin out. Okay. All women think that this is the way. All women, all these women think this way. Oh, all these women think this way. I feel no sympathy for her. She should take care L privately. Oh, okay. That's a female saying that for sure. Unbelievable. I'm glad you made this video. It reminds me of my transformation from nobody to good home. It's a good home, honest wife, 75K bi-weekly, and a good daughter full of love. Oh, she thought she found love. So she has successes in life. Then she went from that mentality to actually being happy with someone, which is great. And then she has a family. Relationships are powerful, and relationships are important. Um, Nobody wants to be alone, you know. Even the most richest person just does not want to be alone. If you even what they say, the older ladies with the cats, even that mentality, she's not alone. She got a cat. She just with somebody she just want to love. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happened that she found love in her pets. All right, last couple guys, last couple of comments. It's funny how masculinity ceases to be toxic when it is protecting you or saving your life. Facts to a certain degree. Last one. If a man decides to date younger women because younger women his age are toxic, I said that because women his age are toxic. Toxic. He said if a man decides to date younger women, it's because women his age are toxic. They would say he is just weak. Right? Okay. But when a woman says she says the same thing, they cheer. Okay, that would say it too. So. Well, you guys, appreciate your comments. We definitely look at comments around here because I feel like what you have to say is absolutely important, and we just have conversation. You know, we're not here, we're not there, we just everywhere. You know, just have the conversation, and we're gonna wish Tracee the best that she finds the love that she's looking for, relationship that she deserves. If you guys are here for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video, come join the family, and all my beautiful people that's already here already. I thank you guys for continuing watching and support your boy. Your boy, you feel me? And I'm gonna see you guys next video. And until then, you guys be blessed. Love you. Peace.